this morning. It is 5:15 a.m., I think, and we're about to get started on today's workout. 5:30, 5:13 a.m. even, so it's even a bit earlier. Let me just move the camera slightly. I'm just standing here setting up my timer. But there we are. Hello. How's it going? Let's see, on my laptop. I'm also going live. See if I can monitor everything that's going on. It is a good morning. The timer should be on. I'm feeling all right. I slept well tonight. And I'm going to try to take it easy today. As in, trained pretty hard yesterday and the day before. I need to give the body some time to relax and recover. So I'm going to do some mobility and then some core exercises with the kettlebells. And it will take about 30 minutes, I guess, maybe a bit longer depending on how much fun I'm having or how much I want to do. So that's how I'm doing this morning. How are you doing this morning? I hope you're doing all right. Thanks for dropping by. At least it's morning for me. It might be later on in the day or afternoon for you, or it could even be the end of the day if you're in the United States or Latin America. Let me know in the chat where you're dropping by from when you see this. I am going to start off with a general mobility routine this morning, and I'm actually looking forward to that. We all know if you've been here more often, but if you're new, I train for living an active, self-sufficient and adventurous life. I like to be able to go out and do things, and as we get older, I am almost 40, heading into my 40s, so to speak. It becomes more and more important to maintain the ability to do those things. So I work on my conditioning, I work on my strength, and I work on my mobility. And judging by all of the things I've done this year, all of that hard work is paying off, putting on some extra muscle, being able to exert myself over extended period of time, and being able to just generally move better. This is not about the way I look. It's all about the way I feel, actually. I feel pretty good about myself. And a nice side effect from working out every day for 20 to 30 minutes is that you start to look like you take good care of yourself and work out a lot. But that is aesthetic. This is about health. And generally, I checked my health markers in February, and I'm going to check them again upcoming February. I'm going to do a VO2 max test at a sports lab, and I'll do all the blood work and everything else as well. Just to see how well and healthy I actually am. And last time I turned out to be pretty healthy, so I hope that this year we'll see an improvement and not a decline. Beyond that, I just always say we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. And the only way to get anything done is by showing up and doing the work. So I'm going to read that message, and then we're going to get started. Matthew. Hey. Matthew, I don't know whether that's a joke or a real comment or whether that's a bot, but I guess we'll find out. But thank you. I'm not interested in a test drive, but good luck with trying to sell the car. The reason I'm not interested in a test drive is because I'm not near California. Let's get started. I'm just going to do some slow mobility. Take it nice and easy. The point is to just move. Not in a rush to be anywhere. Not in a rush to get too much done. I just want to move. And start moving. Deep breathing. Really creating that space at the bottom of my abdomen. Letting the diaphragm push everything down. And then working on the mobility up here in the neck. That's important. All right. The famous W, waving and shaking. Marco, hi back to Chile. Thanks for dropping by and saying hello. I hope everything is all right over where you are in the world. What is it? It's probably late in the evening or maybe at night in Chile. And I'm happy to be able to be found that far away from where I am at. All right, we're going to reach up. We're going to grab some apples. From the tree. Dropping into the world's greatest stretch, or so they call it. Going to form of child's pose. And just really feeling that back move and stretch and stay subtle. So that's what I'm up to this morning. But what about you? What's going on in your end of the world? you doing any kind of sports, into kettlebells, mobility, or yoga, or running, or maybe team sports or track and field, let me know. I'd be interested to hear what we're up to. Maybe something else is on your mind. It's beginning of the school year, or of the academic year. Maybe you started a new job. Life offers us many challenges, I guess is one way to look at it. And we would want to think about and talk all those challenges. In the end, life is a fun how should I put it? Life should be a fun experience where we get to do things we enjoy and like to do. I think it's also not easy nowadays. If I think about it, I grew up in the 90s, early 2000s. It was a lot less busy. Different things were going on in the world, but life was relatively comfortable and okay. And nowadays, I think as a whole, supposedly, we're better off, which I guess is something I'll subscribe to that idea. People have a better chance of finding the opportunity to make something of their life. The challenges we face, probably more of coming to terms with some of our identity and how are we going to live together in such a diverse society where people want so many different things and where we can all broadcast and talk about the things we want and see without too much effort. I think there are huge opportunities there, but also challenges, because it's hard for people to get along with each other and to live and let live, whereas that is probably a large part of what it's going to take to let people, or to live together in a crowded world. And sure, there are the challenges as well. With all of that information out there. When I was a kid, you had a couple of magazines. One of them was Men's Health. One was Muscle and Fitness. Right? That's how you got some of your information. And then maybe if you were smart, you could go out on the messaging boards online and find out more, maybe newer stuff. And there was the guy who ran, and the guy with the big muscles at the gym, who you talked to, gave you advice, and that was it. Nowadays, you flip open your phone, and you see very, very, very many people. I don't think I've seen as many six-packs up until my 30s as I have seen in the last 10 years online, if you understand what I mean. One way, I mean, it's fine. It's a way for people to express themselves and build a business maybe. On the other hand, I mean, for me it started after I turned 25, so I had a frame of reference. But if you are a teenager or younger and you're still building your frame of reference and you think that is what healthy and fit and strong looks like, and you just can't figure out why you can't get your body to look that specific way, well, it's going to be quite frustrating, right? I think one of the challenges today is to understand what a normal person looks like who is healthy and fit and capable versus what a influencer or elite athlete or someone who starves themselves or someone who uses performance enhancers looks like, and where you want to be on that spectrum. I would advocate for not paying my looks and the pleasure other people might take in my muscularity or my leanness, but trying to be as healthy and as conditioned and as strong and as fit and as mobile as I could be. And then accepting the shape and size of the body that comes with that. That if all you see online and all you're being told is that that's not okay, then that's not what's going to make you successful. Difficult to I should put it, have a healthy frame of reference of where you stand. That's why I always say we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. I think it's an important message for us all to understand. Hey Valis, good morning, or good afternoon for you maybe. Good to see you. I hope you're doing all right. I'm doing all right, as you can see. Just hanging around with my kettlebells, doing some workout, talking to myself about things I see in the world. How are you doing this morning? Hope you're doing all right. Hope life is treating you well. So yeah, like I was saying, I think there are good things and bad things in today's society about the technology and the access to information and platforms that we have and can create. And I think that's nothing new. I think the world's always been like that. You've always had loud voices, insane voices, and common sense. I think we need to learn to use that common sense more and more and quicker. And there are a lot of people out there who want to tell you to think or act or behave a certain way because they can make money off you. And you need to be on guard on that. And the one thing that is just such a drawback is if someone looks like they know what they're talking about, we tend to believe that they know what they're talking about. This happened to me in the gym a couple of months ago before I'd done any kind of personal training, education or whatever. And actually it was one of the triggers for me to want to get certifications and follow courses and workshops, because I was talking to someone about an exercise and about doing more pull-ups, and I was explaining how I would go about getting my first pull-up and then getting up to 3 and 5 and 10. I said, but don't take my advice, I'm not a personal trainer. I said, well, but you look like you know what you're talking about. So, just keep that top of mind for yourself. That there are a lot of people who maybe look like they know what they're talking about, but don't really know what they're talking about. Haha. You're too kind, Ivalis. That is very sweet of you to say. It is, of course. Maybe I'm a professional in the field of chatting and talking on camera. YouTube Punk, howdy. How's life in Texas? I saw your comment this morning. Thanks for mine. I just realized a few minutes ago, I was like, oh, maybe I should have said I'm going to go live in a few minutes, but I see you found me this morning anyway. But Ivalis, to your point, maybe I'm a professional camera talker, but I'm definitely just a guy with some kettlebells and an opinion on the internet. But I do appreciate you dropping by and saying hi and the support and for being a fan in that sense. Oh. We're never late or early. We always arrive right when we're supposed to. That's the motto that I try to live by. And that's worked out pretty well for me up until now. So I wouldn't beat myself up about it. I think we're also in a spot in life. Oh, this is going to be fun. In a spot in life where we are doing what we're doing, just changing where the receiver is on my microphone because we're going to end up lying on my back for a little bit as we move into the core part of the workout or of the session this morning. So yeah, just here doing our thing, and we're going to do some core work next. So I'm going to start basically sitting up straight, and then rolling down the length of my back, sitting back up, and then I'm going to move on to McGill's big three. And after that, we're going to pick up some kettlebells and do some work with the kettlebells. All right. So, yeah. All right. Just going to tense the core and will lift my head up off the floor. And just hold it there for a few seconds. Switch the leg. Side plank. So what's going on in Texas and other parts of the world? Let me know. I'm curious. Not a lot going on over here. Just same old, another week done. It's the 20th of September. Like 2024 has come and gone. We still have a few months to go, but boy, time sure flies. It's a good thing in a good way. A lot of good things happening, but still. So, if you're one of the things I wonder if, as a boy or a man, looking at all those things online, how do you set out your own path? How do you determine, not right from wrong, I think. Probably most of us are pretty good at telling those two apart. But also figuring out what your role is in the world, the part you're going to play. A small for yourself, maybe for your loved ones, for family you want to start, for the community you're a part of. And if you've got those things under control, then maybe for a larger group of people, maybe you want to go into politics, or maybe you have an important role in a business or a company. What does it mean to be a man in this world? To bring the best of yourself, what you have to offer. And whether people will or will not appreciate that, appreciate you for who you are. I think those are questions that are on our mind slightly more than we might like to admit. So yeah, we're just going to let the timer run. Just some suitcase deadlifts. I'm going to do some other unilateral work with the kettlebell. That's a good question. I don't know what you ever do kettlebell deck squats. Is the deck squat the one where you sit down on a box? I'm not sure I know what a deck squat is, so the answer is likely no. You're not sure what you want to be when you grow up? Well, I guess depending on thanks for the hearts. Where the how should I put it? I also didn't know what I wanted to be while I was growing up, and I think we don't need to always know what I want to do. For some people, it's very clear, right? I want to be a doctor. I want to help make people better. Or I want to be an astronaut, and I'm going to let them strap me to a gazillion tons of rocket fuel and blast me off into space. Or I want to be a teacher. Or I want to be a writer. I want to tell stories. I want to be a movie maker. And I think it's good to have these ambitions and ideas when we're younger. And as we grow up, we see things. We have this thing called experiences in life. And through those experiences, we not only learn what we want, we also learn where our talents and skills lie. And then through that, we are able to get a picture of, where we can apply those talents and skills. And sometimes the idea we have as a child and the talent and skills that we would want to follow are the same. Sometimes they're not. And I think you can get a lot of satisfaction out of life if you keep an eye out for the things that you're naturally good at, not your passions. I'm not very passionate. You should take a look at my house, for example. I'm not very passionate about organizing, but I am quite good at organizing processes. That's a skill, an ability that is quite well suited in many different environments, right? But having come to that insight a bit late, I was always looking for other things, but I'm at my best when I can create an overview, figure out the steps, and then help myself or other people actually work towards those steps or that goal through that process. So we figure out our talents and skills through experience. And then I don't think you need to, per se, follow your passion to be satisfied and successful. I think if you're able to follow your talents, things you're good at, I think one of the key drivers of our motivation is mastery and the ability to learn and do things. So if you can do something that you're naturally good at, you might really learn. I'm just going to be walking up and down right now. You might find that offers a lot of opportunities for you to feel satisfied and fulfilled, and at the same time you might also be able to provide for yourself and the people you love by doing those kinds of things. So there's definitely some room for experience in life to teach you these things. It's good to have dreams and ambitions, but if you don't sweat it, and if you do, that's great. And then let life show you and teach you where your talents and skills lie in relation to that ambition or ideal. And sometimes you'll find that you want things to change or be different. And sometimes you'll find that you had the right idea and you have all the skills and talents to go for it. Are those reverse or forward lunges? The one I was doing is a split squat. Holding the kettlebell up like this. I stepped out forward, so that would be a lunge, and then with the other leg I step back. But the whole idea of it is just a regular, you can also have the weight down here, split squat, but I hold the weight up here to challenge the core. You can do it in either a lunge forward or a reverse lunge, if that answers your question, RJ. It's a good question. Thanks for asking and for dropping by. So yeah, you know, as a man, as a person in this world, I guess that also applies to women maybe, but I'm not a girl or a woman, so I don't have that experience. But I can tell you, as a grown-ass man, who's 40 years old, and has sorted his fizzle out over the years. You know that if you keep your head down, work hard, and mind your money and your manners, you're probably going to end up reasonably comfortable. And if you're lucky, like I got a lucky break 13 years ago, landing a well-paying job at a big international company, then you're going to be even better off if you're smart about what you do. But you can be very rich and very successful and a miserable person to be around, or a miser, or you can be okay or well off or struggling and the light of the party and fun to talk to because you're doing interesting things in your values and talents and daily activities are aligned. And also that some people, honestly, they figure it out early on in life and they're blessed. And some people, they need more time. And that's also fine because, you know, life is that experience, right, that we're after. Bottoms up. Yeah, that's an extra challenge for the arm, but also for the core at that point. So this is just a slight core workout. Like I said, I'm taking it easy this morning. My wrist is still recovering from the workshop a week ago. I have been cleaning and slightly banging it up throughout the week. So, need to be mindful. Don't want an injury to last too long. There we go. And so, for the people watching, it is indeed split squat, not a lunge, but you can do it as a lunge. But I'm just taking it easy, and I want it to predominantly be a core challenge today. So anyway, those are my thoughts on being a man, building a career. I mean, many different ways to look at it. And that's how I look at life at the moment. All right. And it wouldn't be a kettlebell workout without doing a couple of hand-to-hand swings to finish off. So it's nice when it's weightless at the top. Fun to just. And of course, this is an ultimate core exercise because you're trying to keep yourself square in the movement. And we're done. Johnny, the clean always bites me. Yeah, there are some good tutorials online in terms of hand insertion, getting it. There's also a difference between, think how hard style and kettlebell sports soft style does it. I figured the soft style actually works a bit better for me. It requires a lot of practice. So with a lighter weight, I also don't snatch because I don't have a proper hand insertion and clean yet. So the overall full overhead motion is more difficult. Building it up step by step, I think it's important to just keep that in mind. And be careful, right? I can show you my wrist, maybe. So you can see here, this part is also the part where it tends to land if it doesn't land properly. It's still swollen, so nothing's broken, the bone's fine. It's just the muscle is tender and banged up. And that's a slight impediment to training, because if it lands properly, I don't feel it. But if it doesn't land properly, it hurts. Oh well, life. Don't get anywhere without a bit of discomfort. That was today's training, people. I think that was 38 minutes. It seems 5:65 a.m. where I'm at. Thanks for dropping by and watching, and for talking and thinking along about how we can make the most out of life. Something is on my mind because I'm a father, I'm a man, I'm a father of kids, but I also just want everyone to do well in general. So that's, and a part of that is understanding what you want from life, but yet a part of that, I think, is understanding what you are and aren't good at, because you can want something, but if it's very frustrating to try and get there, like a high level of education for me was very frustrating. Not necessarily my talent, maybe. Then, life can be easy or hard, depending on how we make it. Anyway, enough talking. I train for living an adventurous, self-sufficient, active, fun life. Hopefully well into to my hundreds. Jivalis, thanks a lot. Have a great day. And this is not about the way I look. This is about the way I feel. Because we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. And the only way to get anything done, friends, is by showing up and doing the work. I loved the chat this morning, all of the conversation. Thanks a lot to all of you for dropping by, and for saying hi and for being regulars here. And I will see you tomorrow for another session and another stream. Take care, friends. Stay safe.